Welcome to season 2, episode, I think 3 of the Workshop Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Patrick Caleri.
Hey everybody, I'm Frank.
Hi, I'm the Franki, aka Big Mama.
I am Sarah.
And we have one extra regular contributor now. You're rolling with 4 people. We're just going to keep expanding every season.
Yeah.
Shows are going to get really long and weird, but it'll be okay. You guys will love it.
If only you could see Frank right now.
Yeah. He's just always so happy and bubbly. I love it.
I can't help it.
By season 7, I only want to have to contribute 1 word per podcast, and then that's my overarching role is keep the conversation flowing.
That'll be the attention span of the watchers as well. So
that's true. That's all they're looking for.
Welcome back to
Speedy
Workshop.
Run a season. Speed run a season in 15 minutes. Like
that's all you need. Everything you need to know about writing and reading.
We'll
one
do
sentence at a time.
We'll do that improv game. I went to the workshop. What?
All right, well, full disclosure, I'm only ever going to say and.
Okay. Whether it makes sense or not, and.
The first word of the book is and.
Long run-on sentence.
Yeah, I can't get much more starting in the middle than that. Just starting your book with and. That's like Finnegan's Wake 2.
That would be a great idea for like a sequel. Like the first line and another fucking thing. Like I was saying.
Yeah, right. Anyways, here we go.
I say this as a person that had, when I was younger, started series accidentally in the middle because you don't have anyone to tell you, okay, this is book 1. I don't know, I was 10 years old. But I always thought it would be interesting to do a story intentionally from that perspective. You work your way chronologically backwards, sort of like the finale is the first book, and then you can kind of see what the lead up to this was.
Like the first scenes, like just the protagonist running the sword through the antagonist. And then the story starts and you're like, wait, maybe he wasn't the protagonist. Wait, cut. We got to delete all this. This is a good idea. Wait.
But I'm getting ahead of myself.
All of our hints.
Yeah. One of our 17 listeners. We have 17 now. Welcome, new guy.
Or a girl, or a person. He, she, it, they, them. Whatever, man. Just glad you're here.
Glad you have ears. If you don't, I'm so sorry.
But they have captions. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, they're auto-generated. I do not want to know what the caption would be for anything I've said in the last 31 episodes.
Soon we'll have the show in Braille, so that'll be good, and they won't have to read it. They can really feel.
Watching YouTube.
Dude, application for 3D printers right there. Just print Braille.
Oh yeah.
Hey, there you go.
In real time, like
That's so funny. That would be really great.
See, I'm the idea guy. I can't make anything actually happen, but I'm like, get into the world, do it with it what you will.
And if you would like to help us pay for our 3D printer for the new shows in Braille, you can go to our Discord and fuck around. I don't know. We ain't got no way to collect money.
Like, I have to tell you, I have a 3D printer right here. My laptop is sitting on a 3D printer. We're ahead. So if you're deaf and you're listening or reading the show right now, just send us a message and I'll send you some Braille. That's right. I'll send you some Braille so you can enjoy the show in your preferred method.
For your preferred format.
We'll just get a comment. I read the show in Braille and now I know all the typos.
And all I have to say is dot, 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 dot. I mean, you have to translate it.
Next week, we're going to make fun of people who only speak in Morse code.
Yeah, that's not funny if you're blind. I'm sorry.
We're just gonna have such a niche audience.
We just went down to 13.
Our convention Our in-person conventions have to be very ADA compliant.
Yeah. A Braille wheelchair ramp.
We're just aware of our target audience.
Yeah. It has to have a ramp. It has to have Braille. It has to have Morse code. And it also has to have that yellow pad with the dots on it for the people who use the stick, only because it pisses off James Charles. Like, yeah, woo, deaf people know where to stop, but fuck James Charles with my whole chest.
God, we're not even famous, and we're already such divas. This is gonna escalate quickly.
And none of you fuckers have got me my bowl of all green M&Ms yet either. Don't think I ain't noticed.
The best flavor.
Right. The best flavor. Bug ass. That would be the red ones. The red ones are made with bugs. Right? Yeah.
Everything is made, okay, if not made with bugs, everything is made with a tolerance for bugs. So that tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, loosely followed, in fact.
If a certain percentage that is not 0 of your product is bug, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's actually a pretty high percentage that it's still okay.
Worryingly high.
I don't like
I got a green M&M. I got a green M&M. I got a blue M&M. I got a cricket. Woo! If at least 2/3 of your product is not bug, we're fine.
Yeah, because if it's more than 2/3, you have to call it bugs. Because people will still buy bugs to eat for real.
Well,
yeah, they would.
Fucking people buy crickets dipped in like powder and like, oh, it's crunchy. I'm like, really? I'll take your word for it. Don't breathe on me.
It is definitely crunchy for sure. I mean, you can just look at a cricket and tell that's going to be crunchy.
That's going to be a crunchy one. I mean,
I think I'd be okay if I had to eat a crunchy bug, but if I bite into a bug and it's smushy, I'm burning this whole fucking place down.
See, we were talking about this last week because we were talking about how they're adding protein to everything, and I just assumed that they're sourcing most of the protein from vegetables or bugs, right? So, but like grubs, like if you had a big fat juicy grub and like you cut that sucker open and you grilled it, like it would be so hot and juicy and delicious. You could make bugs good.
All right, Timon, we get it. You like bugs.
Slimy yet satisfying.
The scene from The Lion King did make bugs look really delicious, but unfortunately, I've never found one that made it in real life. So
I don't think you've ever seen one that would be delicious enough.
In order for me to eat it, I would have to touch it, and we all know how I feel about butterflies. Okay.
On the list of like most problematic bugs to eat, I feel like cricket is pretty manageable. You know, it's small enough you can just pop it in. You don't have to think about it. I feel like that's my bug of choice.
You have to think about it though. That's the problem. You have to think about it.
You're wrong. Here's the thing.
Put it in the cup next to your computer and you wait long enough, you'll just start eating them automatically. You'll be like, oh shit, I'm eating crickets.
Well, I'm out of pizza. The Snickers are gone. Oh, a roach.
I mean, okay, yeah, now see, a roach is where I'll draw the line. Too big.
Hey, you get the little
Crickets are
ones.
huge too.
Dude, I bet the only person on Earth to eat a cockroach and like, you know, bite into it and it squirts like that hot yellow liquid right down their throat, they'd be like, oh my fucking god, this is delicious. What the hell?
Why is no one like this?
This is amazing.
Give me Gordon Ramsay.
I mean, hey, that's gonna, you know, somebody tried cow milk for the first time, so we're gonna, you never know. A braver
the
soul,
bigger the better.
Just
The
a farmer
juicier,
walking
the
by is
better.
like, Bill? The fuck are you doing to the cow? And Bill's just like, bro, grab a tit.
You're gonna have to trust me on this.
They had a cow.
Like y'all are all friends with Joe Rogan, and I can't.
Only true alphas can eat bugs. Okay, Sarah? If you're a beta, just let us know.
Yes, Sarah, we can't make the next recording. We're all gonna be in Austin. Doing a live Joe Rogan experience.
I own a recliner. Man. I lift heavy things. I talk about eating bugs. I could go on the Joe Rogan experience and escape with most of my dignity. I'm pretty sure.
We've already done Rogan.
100% of your dignity for sure. You get out of there just fine.
Just start flinging crickets at him. Eat this, bitch. He'd be like, no. I take all of his credit. All his street cred gone. It'll be on the news. It would be the only true headline The Onion has ever posted. Fat bitch makes Joe Rogan cry.
Now, we might be underselling him. We might be able to talk to him about literature. I wonder what his favorite book is.
Playboy. He loves it for the articles.
No, I guarantee if he tried to give you an academic book, Joe Rogan, much like every frat boy, his favorite book is Catcher in the Rye. And it's not because they like it or understand the themes, but it's written on a level that they can actually understand.
Or Ulysses.
Oh, God.
Daddy didn't want a sissy, so I had to read this, man. He was on Fear Factor. I didn't realize he was the fucking host of Fear Factor.
He was the guy. That's where he comes from.
So he doesn't eat the bugs. He feeds them the bugs.
Yeah.
That's right. He's the bug feeder, man.
And people willingly go on that show knowing that.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm going to get $1 million so I can pay off my mafia debt. Yay.
Had I only not screwed over Fat Tony, I wouldn't have to eat this caterpillar wrapped in bacon made from the anus of a whale.
See, I think that all of the mukbangers in the world are just the mob makes them do it because they make tons of money off of it. And they're like, if you don't sit down and eat 500 chicken wings, we're gonna take your family and like put them at the bottom of the ocean. And they're like, okay, I'll do it. I'll mukbang.
There's some poor little Asian girl who's just like on her 15th corn dog, and he's like, "That's right, the cannoli's next."
Yeah,
Fat Tony's
hope
just
you're
on
not
camera.
full. Fat Tony's just getting started.
A weird intersection of a mob enterprise and also like an overstocked kitchen pantry. Like, there was an order mix-up. We can't let it go to waste.
Do you know how expensive groceries are?
For the work.
Like, what's on the menu today, Fat Tony? You get 2 heads of lettuce and a bottle of ranch. And captain. There are bugs on this lettuce.
Though.
Joe Rogan said it's protein. Right? Dude, if you ever get a chance, go to Rip Van Winkle Gardens and order the salad, the Caesar salad.
Oh, yes, I've had that there.
Oh, yeah. On the menu, it says whole or half. And I'm thinking a whole portion or half portion. No, it means head of lettuce.
Yeah.
I ordered a whole head of lettuce. And I sat down this fucking green mountain with like 3 or 4 chicken breasts on top. And I look at my mom like, I'm going to need a go box. There's a fucking peacock just outside the window going, eat, 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 eat. Fat Tony's like, I'm proud of you.
That feels like a scam if they're just gonna sell like a whole ass head of lettuce next. They're gonna give you like a bottle of dressing and like, I don't know, it's a deconstructed salad. Make it yourself.
No,
they put it down on the table and punch it.
Yeah,
it breaks apart, and they just splatter a whole bottle of ranch on it. Here you go.
It's like the
Caesar salad.
Hey.
Oh, sorry.
French. We're sophisticated here. It's French dressing.
Sorry. I thought it was supposed to be Caesar dressing. It's a Caesar salad that's made of lettuce and French dressing.
It's America. We can eat whatever we want. You think we got to be the fattest country on the planet because we said, "Oh, we're gonna stick strictly to these calorie deficits"? Fuck no.
Did you give me a Caesar salad, but make it not that?
Everything but.
Instead of the chicken breast, can I get chicken feet and a few bucks?
How about just the whole chicken? Just dump it on there.
Feather and all. Come on, Tony, give it out.
It comes to the table, chops the chicken's head off, slams it in your fucking lettuce. Bam! Ah, yeah, that's beautiful. I love this imagery.
Is that blood? No, that's dressing. Just squeezing the chicken out on the head of lettuce.
It's good to have a little blood of the chicken on top.
To make some people vegetarian. That was the sign the universe needed to give me.
I used to love chicken tenders, and then I listened to the the Workshop Podcast. And
Sorry
I'm
to
never
the blind
eating
deaf
food
people out there.
who used to love chicken.
The blind deaf vegetarians. I'm so sorry.
I would love to see the braille for that. It's just a big, like, bumpy chicken. Where's the head? Keep feeling, bud. Keep feeling.
The lettuce is like on the far side. It just says lettuce, chicken blood.
We've got the 3D printer and we've got all the tools, but we don't know Braille. This is the problem.
I think we should just 3D print the salad at this point.
Yeah.
All right.
The Braille on the bottom, Caesar salad. Yeah.
Our prompt was not, interestingly enough, at all related to food. But, we have some ideas for the next one that is. Our prompt for last week was set your story in a place that has lost all color. And I think we all wrote something this week. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Nobody drank.
Going strong.
Huzzah.
All right. So we will just read in the order that we introduced ourselves in. So I will go first. Full disclosure, I wrote this and did not do any editing. So I've already caught several points where I'm like, should have said that differently. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
As long as your characters have the same name from top to bottom, you should be good.
I think they do.
You're solid. You are
but
solid.
I caught one instance where it wasn't true, but I corrected that, so we're good.
They do now.
R.I.P. Natalie and Kara.
It is current. So I had a good bit of fun writing this one. It was quick, but it was fun to write. So I called this one Graveyard Windows. The world was beautiful once, but that's only if you believed Granny Macca's gum-lipped ramblings. Here's me and Wheeler on our wedding day, she crooned. Spittle washed out of her mouth with the words, uncontained behind the dam of her 3 remaining teeth. We said the vows right at sunset. I couldn't tell you what we said, but boy, you wouldn't have believed the sky. Like it was lit up all afire just for us. She stretched out an arm, her soft frame nearly consumed in the dusty upholstery of the moth-chewed sofa, and Cormac took the picture frame from her dutifully. What color was your dress, he asked, following the old steps like a marching beat. Well... She frowned for a moment, then looked at Cormac with rheumy, bemused eyes. Why, it was white. Can you believe it? I suppose there's a lesson to be learned in that somewhere. Cormac very much doubted that, but he kept his skepticism to himself. To hear Granny Macca tell it, there were 2 halves to life, clove clean through at the delineation point of before and after. Before, when things like yellow existed, whatever that could possibly mean. And after, when they did not. Granny said it was like a gasket wrapped around the world had blown out, and the color slid right out of it like oil from a drip pan. He looked at the frame with what he hoped was appropriate reverence, but it was as unremarkable as the first time. A still shot, blacks, whites, and grays all blown out from age, of a handsome newlywed couple before a seaside cliff. Before she stopped being able to move, Granny would perch next to his shoulder and point out different spots in the picture, using words Cormac hadn't heard except in old books, like vibrant and verdant. That patch of water over there, she would insist, had been crystal blue as the sky. No, really, it had. When he'd pointed out that now, technically, the water still matched the sky, she'd swatted his arm. Cormac had been born in the after, and that was how he preferred it. You could have a halfway decent conversation with someone who grew up after the desaturation, but others, well, they would rather remember rainbows. He tried to be understanding, but there was something so unbearably patronizing about getting lectured by film heads. Eventually, though, even the photographs had gone gray, leaving Granny Macca's generation adrift, living rooms soaked in oceans of black and white prints. They were trying to recapture something they couldn't even describe, a reality that hadn't been stolen or torn away violently, but had instead merely faded. There was nothing to fight against, and that hurt all the worse. Granny Macca's walls whispered their memories where once they might have screamed them. A huge oil portrait hulked behind the parlor couch where she sat, an anniversary gift for a long-deceased second husband. Even in black and white, the artist's skill shone through. Wheeler Macca's expression looked like it had been made for grayscale. Landscapes and other family portraits clung around the centerpiece, the muted tones blending so that the whole wall looked more like a stately collage of contemporary art. There was a similar parlor in every aging biddy's front room, Cormac would warrant, and each one desperate to walk you through the former technicolor of their lives. It wasn't living, at least not any kind of living he was interested in. He placed the wedding picture back on the mantel next to him without a second glance. I'm going to run and grab something for dinner, he said loudly, repeating the conversation he tried to start a few minutes ago, before Granny sidetracked him with the photographs. Burgers and fries all right with you? But Granny Macca had already picked up another photo album from the coffee table, the laminated pages hanging half-torn from the binder, and was murmuring softly to herself while she gummed her upper lip. Cormac lingered in the doorframe for a few moments more, but she'd already slipped backwards in time to her better, more beautiful days. There was a gulf widening between folks like Granny and the new generation, though she was too strangled in reverie to see it. It was difficult to spend a lifetime hearing about how much better things used to be, how much more alive the world was, without feeling like, in some way, the change was your fault. Cormac wasn't bitter anymore, though, not like some of the men he worked with at the mill. It wasn't Granny Macca's fault that she couldn't see. Cormac ducked under the low header board as he made his way into the basement to collect his wallet. Goosebumps prickled down his skin. His room was a good 20 degrees cooler than the rest of the house, but Granny never griped about the temperature, unless it was to complain about how cold she was, like the color going out of the world had sapped heat with it. He spied the wallet on his bedside table and passed by the drying rack at the foot of his bed. The femur he'd left there a few weeks ago before had lost much of its gristle. Stringy bits of fat had congealed, dried, and flaked off in the last few days, revealing the electric white of the bone. The rest of the specimen wouldn't fit down the staircase, not even through the cellar door at the back end of the basement, but Cormac didn't want to be greedy. Then he'd be no different from the film heads, or Granny Macca on her sun-faded sofa. No, he'd be grateful for what he did have. He thought about Granny up in her parlor room, flipping the pages of her old photo album books quickly enough to start a fire, as if the laws of thermodynamics could help her will the color back onto the page, and was grateful he didn't have to grow up in a world of oppressive color. Color, he thought, picking up the gray, mummified remains of a possum from where it sat drying beside the long femur, was just the world's messy form of the word no, and he simply wasn't interested by that. He remembered his grade school lessons as a child, learning about things like medicine and blood and how it used to look. A horrible rush of red as hot as the thing itself. But when he had cut into the family cat that evening to see for himself, he'd been relieved beyond words when all that leaked out was a black sludge the same color and consistency as chocolate syrup. He didn't know what red was, but he had a feeling that it would have made things harder, messier. It was just so much easier to see the real essence of a thing in black and white. Granny Macca would never understand, but in truth, he enjoyed being able to operate 1 degree removed, with passion drained out of life to make room for careful observation. He peered down onto the second shelf of the rack at the newest addition to his collection. A dry, hard, blackened end of a man's big toe, puckered where the skin had been sheared through. The nail had been spotted and peeling, an eyesore, but Cormac had taken it off with a handy pair of pliers. Now the whole piece was the same smooth, shellacked black, a vision of perfect uniformity. He gnawed on the edge of the toe with his back molar, nodded approvingly, and placed it back on the rack with the other trophies. They were true in ways the photographs upstairs could never match, in Cormac's mind. Let Granny keep her graveyard windows. He didn't want them.
Brother, I love it.
You said femur, and I said, did I black out for a second? Femur?
It was the biting the toe for me. I was like, okay, serial killer, I dig it. He's eating.
All right, Jeffrey Dahmer.
With his back molar is the part that.
So biting the toe wasn't too much because I thought about that, but I was like, you know what? I thought about it, so I'll just put it in.
No, I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. I'm just thinking of the logistics of getting a whole toe in your mouth to bite it with your back too.
I literally wrote down, oh, this reminds me of the Lorax. And literally, I'm not even kidding. I did the X and a period, and then you said femur, and I looked up and I said, honestly, I like it. I like that we were not expecting that. I think it worked really well. And also, serial killers have to be like one step removed from reality for them to even do all of that heinous shit. And so to be one step removed from color,
Yeah.
it's already removed from reality, and that just makes the person even colder.
Mhm.
So I think it's amazing. I love
Yeah.
that.
Well,
That was
Good.
it made me also think about like, you know, like, because this isn't an isolated incident, right? This happened, you assume that this is like an event that occurs and everyone loses color. So you've got like the old people who are remembering, and they're like the last bit of like the old civilization. They're the last bit of the sane real world as they knew it. This new world is completely stark. So like seeing a corpse is no big deal. I was like considering how like a corpse would look more natural in just black and white. Like it might still get splotchy and the limbs might come off, it might deteriorate, but like it would just be the same, almost the same white as like a living person. So like, is this guy like a serial killer, or is he just one of the new people, and all of the young people are kind of just like, well, I've seen some dead shit and I grabbed it, you know? Like, they're fascinated by that in a way, because they're not, it's not like they're connected to it viscerally. They are just as bland as the world is bland. And so like all the deep emotions that come with color and with like warmth and like all that stuff is gone from the next generation who never knew color in the first place.
That's a good point.
I like it. I like the line. He didn't know what red was, but he was feeling it would have made things harder, messier. Like you're right. He's completely removed. He's desensitized to it, because that is a factor for a lot of people. They see blood and instantly like they get woozy or they pass out or they puke or something, and like he doesn't give a fuck. It's just another thing that exists. It doesn't
And he's
stand
also
out.
not heinous about it, to Frank's point. Like he's not like, oh yes, I get to kill something. He's just like, this is something that I'm doing. Like
yeah, he had a conversation and someone was like, yeah, we have blood, and it was red, and he's like, oh well, let me see. Kills the cat, and he's like, it's just black, just like everything else in this awesome, boring world.
Just having the cat dead. He's like, they lied to me, Fluffy.
That was also black. So
and
I ate that. So maybe I should eat this.
Yeah,
chew on the toe.
I did like. I did like the. Well, we were talking about how trying to write something and describe something without referencing the color is difficult. But I think what was going through my mind as I was writing this is how much color is an indicator of danger, or that you've gone too far in certain instances. It is nature's warning sign of don't touch this, or this is bad for you, or something like that. And in a world where you don't have those cues and you don't even have the associations with those cues, I just thought it'd be, interesting.
Not only in nature, but also like man-made things. Like we use like a stop sign. Even if you don't know how to read, you see that big red octagon, oh, I should probably not go any further. Like
or flashing red lights or flashing yellow lights. Like
color psychology is
happening.
Super deep.
Yeah.
It's used in marketing, it's used in everything. You can control people with color in a lot of ways. So taking that whole mechanism removes such a large part of what humanity is. Like it's crazy. I also really loved the way that you like red was the first color that you used, and I may have been the only color. I don't know. There was toe chewing going on, but when the hit my eyes, and I thought of red after being conditioned the whole story to like think of the world with no color, and that red splashed down, it like made me think of like, oh well, what does red mean to me? Like it flooded me with that, and then immediately you're like, it was just black nothing to this kid. So I love the juxtaposition between those two and how you splashed a little color in my mind just to take it all away.
It's
I love this.
It's kind of like forcing a desaturation on the reader, much like what happened to the characters. I like this
for sure.
This
good. I'm glad you like that.
It's a whole snap to Patrick.
I do want to add, Frank had mentioned last week, I think, that he doesn't like he doesn't read Patrick's stuff all the time, obviously,
Yeah.
because last week was his first week. And I feel like this is such a good example of how Patrick can write so many different things. Like historical fiction, he can write mythology, he can write this.
Yeah.
Like
you should read the one about the
so
elephant.
many.
I'll send it to you.
Okay.
I read that shit once a week. I'm not even kidding. Since he wrote it, since he shared it with us, that's a once a week type like read story. I read it to Liam.
And then he bit the toe. Poor Liam.
As I was writing it, I did think to myself, I'm like, yeah, this is wildly different from last week. All right.
I love it.
I think that's good though. Like you have the equivalent of Freddie Mercury's 8 octaves. You can write this or that or this or that. And a lot of people try to do that, and it's just like, no, you should stick to what you know. Like don't do that.
Does it so well.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. I think Frank is next.
All right, Frankie, up next.
All right. So whereas Patrick's story kind of had the actual world be desaturated, I considered this more in like an emotional way. And so my story is called Achromatic, and I'm just going to read it because I think you'll figure out what it's about better than if I try to explain it to you. Cool. There's something itchy in my brain, but I can't reach it. I don't think I can, at least not how I used to. When I was there, back then with her, with them, well, we were together, and that was about all I could say about it. It's not like it was anything special, really. We were together, and we were who we were, and we lived, both freely and enraptured by the ever-approaching circumstances of life. And that was the thing that made me really feel like there was something worth being for. Like I had a purpose and a rhythm and a rhyme, and that every time I looked out, every beat of my heart, every momentary glance and shiver of scripture no voice could hold, a hand on another, a stroking finger, a grin from the side that grew into a smile, the creases in her eyes, in their eyes, in the silent moments that could and would never be recorded. I had seen them 10 million times, and yet I still yearned to see them again, agonizing for their presence like an uprooted sycamore. I move like a corpse, rather like a machine. To call myself a corpse is a slight to the dead, for I still breathe and piss and sleep and eat. But that is all. It doesn't bring any sense of joy, no essence of wonder, or even the acknowledgement of its absence, just the sickly, withering pain of waking up yet again, of being forced to see the life we once shared in achromatic finality. Without her, without them, the lackluster role of my continuity wavers like Pantone swatches, each discarded and left to flutter upon walls that once held such hope for some new hue, to change the mood of this dark, colorless place. The only hope left is that which is within me, that I might see them again, if only in dreams, if only in my own eternal sleep. For now I sit in ever-compressing silence, staring at the silhouettes of what they would have become, what they already had been, what they would never have the chance to be. I count the silence in raindrops. Drip, drip. Thunder rolls through my skull, and time spreads itself across the hollow walls, shudders, and steps through my beating heart as it mechanically pushes cold blood through my crumbling frame. The sound bounces around me and through me and off of me. Yet, like a grounded bell, I have lost the option to resonate. I am an echo, the last strand of memory that remains of they, of we, and I count my loss in solitude. Even if I were to bleed, the pigmentation would blanch against the tepid shell of our hearth. No crackle, no warmth. They have their apotheosis, ill-timed, entire, and I have the synagogue it left, anemic and unlit, cooling to the temperature of the room and keeping it
Okay. Wait, okay. I really like that. And I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like the repetition that you have with like the drip drip and without her, without them, um and you use a lot of M dashes, which I love, and you use M dashes.
You were already Sarah's a fan.
I'm not afraid.
I feel like in a world that has no color, the only thing that you can use to like give it something is repetition, because of the fact that it's just all so mundane and you're doing the same thing over and over again and there's nothing new. And of course you're going to get depressed and sad and not want to wake up and feel like a corpse or a machine. I feel like you capture all of that so well.
Thanks.
I enjoy. I'm looking through it too, and I really enjoy that. I didn't catch it consciously because I was aware of the prompt, but I like that there is no mention of any specific color. You know, there's no word in here that you've got hue, you've got swatch. You know, you've got things that might call color to mind, but obviously, but I like that there's not a single word in here that necessarily draws your mind to color, and that is such a really effective, you know, way to intertwine it with the prompt. Yeah, no, it was very in the same kind of opposite mine. It feels very different from what you wrote last week, but it's a good, you know, it shows the depth of your ability. You've got, I think my favorite thing in here is you've got a lot of extended metaphor, but there are some that really stand out as just fantastic. What was it? Count the silence and raindrops drip drip. Thunder rolls through my skull and time spreads itself across the hollow walls, shudders and steps through my beating heart as it mechanically pulses cold blood through my crumbling frame. That one especially was just great. One of those. It's one of those extended metaphors that you're mad that you didn't write yourself.
I know. Whenever he said I am an echo, I was like, why didn't I think of that? The last strand of memory that remains of they? What? I love it.
Me too, I really do. To call myself a corpse is a slight to the dead.
That was another one that I wanted to mention. Yeah. And I like how it is, I mean, it has a narrative form to it, and you know, you can piece together, it's more of a like conceptual piece or thematic piece, which is understandable. Yeah. But I do like how it does tie itself so much to the prompt where you never say anything about this being about color or not. And I like the duality of how it works as a remembrance of people, like color in your life, or take it literal. And it's a guy that is in deep throes of depression because he's lost color, quote unquote, literal. But, yeah, it was. I liked how layered the metaphor was and how it followed the prompt. Plus, just a damn good title too.
Yeah.
The title came last, but I'm like, it's so perfect, and I'm only reading through it this time that I like. Oh yeah, I did. I throw it right in the middle. Achromatic finality, like, yeah.
I like it.
That's okay. Yeah, I mean, roll credit.
When I was writing it, what I was thinking was, and it just may be a misinterpretation of the prompt by me, totally. But I was thinking like when you lose so much, you lose everything, you lose the whole purpose of your life, everything that you have. For me, it would be like my family. If I were to lose my family, that's what I was thinking about. What would make my life be colorless? It would be not having them. So to think about that and to think about what it would be like to continue living on after I had lost the very thing that gave my life color and action, That's kind of what painted it. So the world itself wasn't transformed. It was the person that was transformed, and now all of the deep hues that used to be there are gone. I also think it's funny how we both utilize blood, but like I utilize it in a cold way and you utilize it in a hot way.
Yep. I was going to make a comment about that as another great, extended rhetorical bit, but I have the synagogue at left, anemic and I love just the term anemic when used appropriately and sparingly is so good.
Yeah. I mean,
So.
I think that you hit the nail on the head, honestly.
Yeah.
Like you did exactly what you were going for.
Yeah.
And you
Awesome.
you were able to also, something that I struggle with a lot when I try to write denser prose is just not trying to sound like I am reading out of a thesaurus, or like I'm just adding words to be like, oh, look at me. Like, am I just trying to sound posh? But I think you did a good job of using a very wide vocabulary, but in a sense that all felt contiguous, as opposed to you're not just drawing a word for no specific reason. All of the word choice has a lot of intent behind it.
Patrick's just over there with his big word book, looking up big words.
What does this mean? Shit.
Yeah. And
I have a thing where I hate using the same word to describe, like even to have the same word in a whole piece is like irritating to me.
Mhm.
So I'm always trying to use different words, but there is a balancing act to it because you don't want to say something that doesn't actually mean. But I do, I am the famous, like the third definition on Merriam-Webster is like the one that I actually meant to use. You kind of have to be a word nerd to like, to like that.
I'm of the opinion it's totally okay every now and then, if you're trying to spice things up, to use a thesaurus. My only rule is, though, you at least have to know the word yourself. Like, you can't just see the word and you're like, that sounds good. You have to be like, oh, yeah, I just wasn't thinking of that word.
And every definition of the word.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but you actually know what that word is and what it means. And I totally agree. If you don't know what word you're putting in your writing, you definitely shouldn't be adding it.
Yeah.
I was also thinking to myself the other day, too, how just fucking annoying English is as a language, and how the same word can just have completely opposite meanings. Like, the word level, like, to level a building and to make something level are completely opposite in their term. Why? Who decided that?
Well, hey, you can level a building or you can add a level on top of a building.
True.
So, I mean, you can go up or down with the same word.
Or I can
It's
take
crazy,
my
but
level out of my bag and make sure this shelf is level. Like,
right.
it's also a noun.
Without all of that, like, George Carlin famously does like the fuck, and he tells like how fuck is the most versatile word in the English language, which it really is. But it's like, if we didn't have all of those different angles that you could view a word through, it's like you couldn't really have this sort of, emotional connection to, like, I think it adds a lot of variety. I personally love English for being this stupid and dumb.
You're right. I get frustrated because it's hard to explain the why, and it's impossible, really. But you're right. I mean, plus you can't. I think double entendres are one of the best part of language, and you miss that completely if you.
Thank God
every
I don't
word is
have to
only
learn
allowed
it
to have
as a
one
second language. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or then you can just be the Germans and just be extremely literal, but have a word for it too.
I love Germans so much. They're the funniest people on this planet.
And they're not even trying to be.
No, they just are. It is born into them.
That was really, and you said something about trying to interpret the prompt. We have created stories that have followed the prompt so loosely. I go back and look at them and go, why the fuck did I write that? Oh, that was the prompt. Okay, so like the prompt, it's there, but it's kind of like a guideline. So you were there. You were okay, yeah.
The prompt is it's like a bouncer at a college bar. Like he's
Yeah.
gonna let you in no matter what. It's
just
Like-
look pretty and don't be.
Yeah, by
Dumb
your third
drunk.
disguise, he's tired of turning you away. He's like, "Come on, get your
like,
boogie
screw
on."
it. You got something to offer. Come on in.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
All right, now for my completely prompt missed piece.
All right, let's see what you got.
Mine is actually a piece out of a bigger piece that I'm writing, called "The King's Guard." It may even get changed to "The King's Guard's Daughter." I haven't decided yet.
Is
But
it?
this, huh?
Is it erotic literature?
It is not erotic. She is 16.
Sorry, I'm used to fantasy turning into erotica lately. So
Yeah. No. All the dicks stay firmly in the cod pieces.
Okay.
well, that is going out of my library. But just kidding.
Patrick's gonna sign off.
Yeah. He's gonna
God piece stays on. Like, God damn.
He's gonna get to the end and be like, I didn't even get to smell a boob.
Not even one.
All right. Well, mine is Gilder Hill Library. Gilder Hill is where most of the story happens. There are other places within Gilder Hill, but the Gilder Hill Library is kind of like the Library of Alexandria, where it has like everything. And a tragedy has befallen. So here we go.
Oh no.
It was blank. Not a drop of ink graced the pages of the leather-bound books. Every image, every word, all of it, gone. I remembered her father. I remembered my, more of that real-time editing, guys, just for you. I remembered my father talking about the vast library at Gilder Hill that contained a copy of every known book for the past 300 years, but now they were all empty. Are you sure these had words in them? Gail pointed towards a large bookcase in the back. I seem to remember seeing the Maester's writing in those. I huffed as I put the book back on the shelf and picked up another. Again, blank. Why? What in the hell would they want with the ink? I dug some more, flipping pages and swearing. Maybe it isn't the ink. Gail plopped a large pile of smaller books onto the table and opened one. I turned to look at her. She was sweating and her makeup was pooling at her chin. What do you mean? That's literally the only thing they took. She opened a book and laid it out on the table. Look, see the small spots on this one? This one was just children's stories. See how some ink stays? And if they only wanted the ink, why wouldn't they have taken all of it? Every single drop. She pulled a thin book from the middle of her stack that had once been decorated with gold leaf in the shape of the title Fundamentals of Life. A book that the Maesters had to watch you read and could not be lent unsupervised. She flipped it open to show the page, which was completely clean. Not a speck left in this one. They aren't after the ink, Paula. They were after the words. I held up the book about the rabbit. This one had illustrations. Well, a picture is worth 1,000 words. I rolled my eyes and tossed it onto the table. This is hopeless. Master Shipman was right. We're screwed. She crinkled her face. Master Shipman said screwed? You know what I mean, Gail. Go check the back. See if they left any clues back there. She huffed out a fine and disappeared into the long hall where Maester sat studying ancient texts by candlelight. I continued digging until I found one. A single book that still contained words. It was a strange brown with hand stitching on the binding. The words on the cover were handwritten in old script that I could barely read, but I could just make out the word death in the center. I opened it to find that every page was covered in writing. Handwriting, script, loopy in places, jagged in others, which meant it had been written by different people, often switching mid-sentence, or at least what I perceived to be a sentence. Gail! I called, but there was no answer. Gail? I turned to see that the doors to the long hall had been shut, which was strange because I hadn't heard them close. I see you have found what we were looking for. Maester Shipman stood on the other side of the table. His His. Guys, this is real time, sorry. His usual brown robe replaced with a white gown covered in silver armor with the emblem of the king on his chest. He was older than the gods themselves, but he looked like a child in his father's armor that had seen better days. Our first clue. Why would they take the words of every book but this one? He chuckled. So naive. Why would they need to steal their own history? I thumbed the book's pages carefully as if they felt delicate as dragonfly wings. The scent of brimstone lifted from them and I choked a bit. Maester, you don't mean we have faced this enemy before? Back when both myself and my armor were younger men. He regarded the chest plate with the old king's emblem, a three-headed dog standing on a bed of roses. You know, Paula, I fancied myself a true hero as a younger man. There was nothing I wanted more than to die in my armor. A tear fell from his eye and plinked against the metal. It seems that now I get the chance. I could feel a rock form in my chest. Maester Shipman had been my mentor and teacher since I was small, replacing my own father at times. A father who got to die in his armor, whether he wanted to or not. What, did they run out of young men to kill? He smiled weakly. Young men have wives. Young men have children. I've got neither. Should I die in their place to say and save another child, your life I will do so gladly, with a smile upon my face. Before I knew it, I was moving towards him, my arms clasped around his middle, which was usually small and frail, but was now covered in a tin can. Please don't go. I must. He patted my back and swayed slowly. I remember when your father put on his armor for the first time. I was the one to bless his group when they left for patrol that night. I always regretted the next morning. I let him go and dried my eyes on my sleeve. Yeah, I know how you feel. I was 4 the morning my father's group hadn't returned. I remembered my pregnant mother's yell as Maester Barnes explained their findings after searching the camp. Maester, is there anything I can do to stop this? He shook his head, then took the book from the table and placed it in my hands. He squeezed my fingers, then reached into his chest plate and pulled out a golden chain that had a watcher's emblem dangling from it. The eye was wooden, with golden lashes that stuck out straight like sunbeams. This was a gift from your father to me, one Watcher's Festival. I've worn it around my neck ever since. I would like for you to keep it safe until I come home. It will guide you on your path to the truth. I took it and placed it around my own neck. The chain pinched my skin. I will give this back to you when you return, no matter what. He smiled and patted my face. Well, I must be off. If any of the scribe in that book gives you trouble, go to my chambers. The Watcher will guide you to any and all help you may need. He tapped the eye on my chest with his long, bony finger, then turned and walked out of the library as he struggled to carry his armor. I stood in one place and watched him leave. Even after he was gone, I stayed in one place until someone stood next to me and munched an apple in my ear. What's that? Gail slurred around a large bite of apple as she pointed to the Watcher symbol on my hand. I wiped my face quickly so she wouldn't see my tears and turned towards the stack of books on the table. We have to put these back. Nobody can know we were here. Quick. I tucked the scribe book into my bag as Gail put her apple in her mouth to free up both hands for carrying books. She looked like a pig on a spit. Once the books were in their proper places, we hurried out of the library just as the evening bells clanged. I latched the doors and followed Gail down the cobblestone street, keeping one hand on the book in my bag and the other clinging tightly to the eye around my neck.
Okay, I feel like you followed the prompt.
Mm-hmm.
You did more than you let on.
Yeah, okay. For sure.
I enjoyed Gail. Gail's my favorite, and I commiserate with Gail. And I also have no reason for believing this, but the Maester references the Watcher guiding her in his office, and I want the Watcher to be a giant owl.
That's a good idea. He's actually one of 4 deities. There's the Watcher, the Seeker, the Looker, and the Blinker. And like they all do different things, but like the Watcher is the main one. It's like the main religion for everyone.
Giant.
Yeah. I've created my own religion, guys. I got tired of this.
That's step 1 of becoming a writer.
Yeah.
That's right.
Step 1, create your own religion. Step 2, bite a toe. Step 3, no color.
Prophet? Question mark?
Prophecy. Hey. Okay.
I like I liked the kind of the mystery element in how you were able to, the mystery of why words or just ink would be missing. And I like how you have kind of ways to bring it to the reader's attention that, okay, not all of the books are equally drained. There is a reason. There's still enough mystery element left to be like, okay, what actually is going on? But you answered enough questions to keep it interesting, while also making me just wonder, okay, but what is the actual backstory of this?
Right. Yeah, because I was
Definitely.
thinking at first, I was like, oh, is this going to be like a Fahrenheit 451 situation where they're stealing the ink? Not that happened in Fahrenheit 451, but like
They did steal the books,
they're
and
going to
that's
censor
important.
everything.
Yeah.
But then not all the books were being drained of their ink. So it does make me interested to see what's gonna come next. And also, if it's just the important books that have ink being stolen from them, that says something. Like they're trying to get rid of proof or history or memories or something. So it's interesting.
Trying to go check your personal library, first of all, because if it's been fucked with, I'll be really pissed.
Only steals references to the actual catcher in the rye.
That is a really good, but yeah, seriously. No, but that is a really good inciting incident, or wherever this is in the plot. It's a good plot point for a lot of other potential things to unfold from.
It is very much towards the beginning.
That's what I had a feeling. I mean, that's got to be. It's a big enough,
Because the actual the prologue is in third person. It's not. It's actually the night she's talking about. The morning her father didn't come home.
Mm-hmm.
They got killed in a guard place. Forgot what the fuck I called it. A camp. They were killed in a camp except for one guy. I can give this away. One guy wasn't killed, but he did set out the others in a makeshift graveyard. He used their swords as their stone markers because some of them had no heads or faces, so you couldn't tell who they were. But he knew who they were, so he put the correct sword with the correct body, and then he disappears. He's gone. So, but he did lay out his uniform and his sword as a grave, which is a whole nother symbolist thing. So, but that's just the first. That's just the prologue, homie. It gets weirder.
Is that what you're working on now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious about a lot of things. The mechanics of how the ink was stolen particularly fascinates me, and of course, I want to know what they stole and why. I think you may have given me a hint by telling me that you created your own religion. So if they deleted all other references to all the other religions so that they could instill their religion, that would be extremely just like what happened in real life when the Library of Alexandria was burned.
Hey!
So
I was going to say, it lists myriad of examples in real life.
God, so yeah, that would be great. I'm very excited about that, and I hope to read more in the near future.
Yeah,
I will share a link. This is not link.
This
isn't in there yet, though. This is like chapter 3 or 4. But
all right, how many pages are you in?
I am in. Well, I don't have it double spaced, so right now it's just 7 pages. I'm still in the first chapter. because I have to introduce all the special little characters. And like Gail has a brother, Thomas. He's a soldier. He's actually secretly dating Paula. No one knows. And we even meet the king and his gaggle of people. And like where they are after the night of the camp massacre, the maesters put a protective dome like over the city of Gilder.
Mm-hmm.
So there's literally a part where Thomas and Paula meet and they're at the edge of the dome, and like he goes to kick a rock off of the cliff where the road just ends, and it bounces off of the dome and comes back at him. So like nothing can get past this dome, but something has, and it's stolen all of the words from the books. All the ink. Yeah. So there's a hole in the dome.
Intriguing. Yeah, I'll be interested to see what happens.
Right.
All right.
All right, Sarah, finish this out.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be a little smart ass for a second. Last week, I remember this. Frank said that a world without color could not have music, so this one has music in it.
You took that as a challenge.
Thank you.
So I really wanted the format of the story to be as like, I don't want to say chaotic because I don't think it's chaotic, but like messy as what the main character is feeling. So hopefully that comes across, but we will see. Okay,
cool.
So this is called The Strange Impossible Thing in the Mirror. Eliza stood in the center of the stage, strumming to the song she never thought she'd have the courage to sing in front of a crowd there for her, nonetheless. Well, really, she was the first of 3 opening acts for country music star Jonathan Brexton, one of only 7 artists in history to receive a nearly impossible 99.99 perfect pitch rating. 20,000 people packed into the stadium to hear the closest thing to perfection the world has ever created. They weren't there to hear Eliza. And by the looks on their faces, by the way they screamed and stumbled backward and rushed the aisles and ran toward exits in a panicked frenzy, they didn't want to hear her either. It was Eliza's mother who pushed her to pursue her lifelong dream of becoming a singer. She'd watched the reality shows as a kid, standing barefoot on the coffee table as a perfect pitched people sang perfectly crafted songs with perfectly measured voices. They were always original songs, though Eliza never thought there was anything original about them. Long, dull roads, short, dull thoughts, smooth, dull skin, pretty, dull eyes. That's what she thought of today's hits. They were dull, just like everything else in the world. She joined the school choir to sing church songs. She wore flowy dresses on Sunday mornings, singing under her breath in a room filled with boring people. She stared blankly at screens and at judges and their 80s and 90s scorecards held high above their heads. Your breath control was phenomenal, one judge said. The tone, the pitch, wasn't better than anyone else I've heard, another judge said. Anything below a 90 just doesn't cut it for today's music industry. It didn't. It wouldn't. Eliza would never make it in a world full of perfect pitches. She knew that, and so did her mother. But knowing was different from trying, and trying was all she could do. So, late at night, when she yearned to feel, she pulled the covers over her head with a flashlight and a mirror, and she sang the highest note she could reach. Higher, 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 until the sound stopped being so pretty, until it scratched her voice and burned her throat and stung her eyes, until her perfect note shattered into something ugly. Her mother would swing open her bedroom door, terrified something had happened to the impossible baby girl she'd spent years begging God to let her keep. And something had. Eliza just didn't know what. She did not know where it came from or where it went when the room went quiet. She didn't have a word for the thing that appeared in the glass, the strange, impossible thing. It looked like the way her chest felt when she ran too fast through the yard and forgot how to breathe, like the warmth beneath her blanket when the thunder shook her windows. It looked like standing too close to a bonfire, her arms stretched out toward the flame. scraped knees against hot pavement, birthday candles melting onto cake, screaming into her pillow, her mother's hugs, every feeling she's ever had all at once. And then it disappeared. Eliza's mother rushed to her side, hands trembling as she searched beneath her daughter's blanket for something, anything, that could explain what had happened to her sweet, impossible Eliza. And it scared Eliza too, just not enough to stop. Because for the rest of her life, Eliza chased this strange thing in the mirror. Through choir practices and talent shows, through 95-point scorecards on reality shows, through every person who told her she felt too much, all the way to the center of that stage with trembling hands and a cheap guitar and 20,000 people who had never seen her, or that strange impossible thing in the mirror, ever before. Until now.
Ooh, a book.
You gotta tell us more, though, right? Like,
Yeah, I'm not done.
that was really good. Oh man.
I like that it leaves the thing ambiguous, though. So, like she doesn't even know what it is. Why do we get to know what it is?
No, that's not. I don't know. That's not fair, Sarah. Tell us. No, that was really. I really enjoyed that.
I was going for like a synesthesia type of vibe where she can see these colors.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess in like today's reality, it would be like us like tasting colors or like hearing colors. But in her world, she's seeing them.
Well, to me, it gave me. I got that came through, but in it also. I really enjoyed how it was a very monstrous kind of thing as well as an entity. Like it does not seem it. So yeah, you've got the color comparison. You're seeing something that other people can't. That is different from this world. But I also really like how low level terrifying this thing seems to be. I mean, you have only essentially one description. Besides the mom finding her, but you got one description of the crowd reacting to her, and they're stumbling backwards in a horror and they're fleeing. And I don't know, it's such a good draw and a hook as into like what is this thing?
I just really wanted to be like a really high note, like run! It's F sharp major, run!
Yeah, they're all just snobs and they're like, not good enough.
That's an 8.3 for me. Like,
it very
at
much
the beginning, it reminded me of this Black Mirror episode where like the girl, it's the one with the treadmill where the guy rides the treadmill, he gives all his money to the girl so she can go on the talent show, and then they just tear her apart and ruin her. But in the early part of the story, I was trying to figure out like, is the world already black and white, or like did she like sing something that was so crazy that it like shattered the world and made it black and white? So I don't know if the world was colorful and she broke it, like she sang a note that was so freaking high pitched that it broke like color, it like shattered it like glass, and everyone's like, oh my God, what the hell is going to happen now? Because like it just keeps breaking. Or whether she like is in a black and white world and she hits a note that's so powerful that she like releases color. Either way is totally freaking crazy and horrifying. And so I guess it's kind of like Pleasantville. We're bringing up Pleasantville again, but anyway, yeah, I really liked the whole concept of like a note causing this shatter to happen. This shattering, this weird, like, I don't know. To me, it's like pulsating. It's like spreading slowly. It's really horrifying, and I want to know more about it.
I really like the idea of mom rushing in and go, why the fuck is your room sepia tone? What?
Did you do this again? Not again. This was last time. This bullshit. Oh, it kind of felt like the end of a Stephen King novel in a sense. Like there is definitely backstory and whatnot that went into it. No, but I enjoyed to me at least, and I could be misinterpreting it, but I did like that it seemed like there was just a cycle. Well, the formatting helped it as well to show that she is not exactly hinged to put it mildly. I like the frantic nature as you kind of were describing it, and it also lends itself to music in itself. Like the formatting helps you think more of songs than that kind of musical format. But yeah, no, she. I wish the best for her. I don't know. I don't know that she's going to get it because I don't know.
It's a no from Patrick, guys. She's not. You know what? Fuck it. Golden buzzer. She's going to the finale.
Will not be attending these concerts.
Yeah,
I don't think you're gonna have a choice. I don't think anyone has a choice. I think what she did is like, okay, well, everything's broken now. Like you done did it, and now we all have to deal with the consequences.
Patrick, this is not the Apollo Academy. You cannot skip the apocalypse.
Like a nuclear warhead if you're within 40 mile radius.
Yeah, this is kind of like, this is a situation where you had brought up earlier, Patrick, that like, how much do you give the reader before it becomes too much?
Yeah.
And I wanted it to be like, I wanted it to be short, and I wanted it to be kind of like, you could go either way. Like, what the hell is she seeing?
Mm-hmm.
If we know all of these colors, I mean, she's talking about like, scraped knees and birthday candles and her mother's hugs. Like, that could be so many different colors. Is she seeing the rainbow? So I kind of wanted to keep it that way, but also from the perspective of a young girl who has no fucking idea what's going on.
See the rainbow, break the rainbow.
Yeah,
No,
if that makes sense. Hopefully that comes across.
It does.
No, yeah, I totally understand, and it I mean, in as we were just saying to each other, again, I did note that there's no color in, as you can't describe things in color. I like that you stay true to the mindset or the narrative voice of somebody that it just has no concept for what this could be. And it does add a layer of difficulty to describing it, but I took note too of the scraped knee and whatnot, and I was also trying to gauge like how many of these are positive versus how many of these would terrify me to see for the first time. And it would just be incredibly overwhelming. I don't know, I like the combination with music too, like you were saying, the synesthesia. It's a good melding between the two senses.
Yeah. I also had to figure out another way to say rainbow baby because I realized that couldn't exist. I wrote it and I was like, well, what the fuck is a rainbow in a world with no color?
It was like, okay.
Flag, baby.
That rain looks nothing like a bow. This is bullshit. That was fun. That was a good prompt.
It was
yeah, that was a fun prompt.
Next week, our prompt is "Don't write a damn thing," because we have a special guest. I only have one sound effect. Wah, 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 wah.
Sounds very sarcastic.
To add some heels clicking.
Yeah, gotta. We have
down
a
the
guest. Dr. Catherine Connor is coming to join us. Now, I know you guys are like, what's a Catherine Connor? A Catherine Connor is a doctor. She has a PhD, you little shits.
But she's not that kind of doctor, guys. No. Chill out.
I've showed her plenty of rashes. She's never gotten back to me.
I don't know what to do about her.
If you don't know who Dr. Catherine Connor is, you're not real fans because we talked about her a lot last season.
Yeah,
go back into the roles of the first season, and you'll find out.
Yeah,
you'll piece together lore.
Heavily mentioned. like I was gonna say her cloven hooves. I meant her high heels.
Same thing.
The opposite things. Are you
Cut that
trying
out, or she might not come on.
Same thing.
what's this one?
She's gonna log in next week and be like, "So Frankie, heard you talking shit." I was like,
Yeah,
"Sorry."
She logged in specifically because she heard you talking shit.
She's the 17th. I understand now. Hello, Kathy. How are you?
We're like, well, hey, I know that we have a guest, but I fucked up and I wrote a book, so we're gonna talk about.
This week's
Yes,
problem.
sit down and listen.
I love-
6-hour podcast.
I log on late, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, who are you?
Patrick just logs in. He's like, "Oh, I had a rough week. It was just horrible. It was shit. Who the fuck is that?"
Oh, just like,
What is this lady saying? Yeah. Oh my goodness.
who are you?
She's just over there with her tortoiseshell cat in her lap, like, "I've been expecting you."
So no one that's listening has any idea more than they did 2 minutes, 5, 3 minutes, however many minutes, who Kathy Connor is, because we never got to that part. So tell us, oh Frankie,
Yeah.
who the fuck is Catherine Connor? Dr. Catherine Connor.
No,
And
she's a
why
doctor.
should we care? She's a doctor. We know that. Not that kind of doctor.
She will not, guys, please do not send us images of pimples, lesions, rashes. I will not forward them to her personal email, okay? Wink, wink. No,
But I will text them to her directly.
on Facebook. Like, make a post.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, Doc.
At Catherine Connor.
No, she is she department head? Or is that still the riot? I don't know. But Dr. Catherine Connor is a professor at Nicholls State University, where Sarah, Frank, and I pretended to do work and got diplomas from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Sarah probably did the work, and I think Frank did the work. I didn't.
I
do it.
also did the work.
I did put in a lot of work, honestly.
I tried
Frankie
a lot.
pretended. Hey, you might have pretended, but it was a pleasure having you there. So whatever, dude.
I'm that character that once they kill him off, that's it. The show's over. You know, I am Glenn. I am the Glenn of this Walking Dead series. Hit me with a ball bat once. Shame on you. Hit me with a ball bat twice. Ouch, stop it.
It's weird that it happened twice.
Had a drag queen.
Right.
But yeah, Dr. Kathy's actually
What
going
did
to
they
come
spell
on.
that?
Huh?
Oh, no, please, go on.
Dr. Connor is coming on to talk about her new book, which comes out August 4th, available on Amazon. It's
Alright.
called The Hanged Man, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Hanged Man is a collection of short stories based in Mississippi, where she's from. Do not worry, she does not have the same accent as my sister.
Oh man.
Like
She lives in New Orleans still, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. She's in New Orleans. She's a muffaletta dancer. I see her.
Loves Mardi Gras.
Right. I see her in her little sparkly outfit on Facebook every once in a while, just like, we went dancing. I see that. But yeah, I messaged her and I was like, "You want to come?" She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "What day?" Blah, blah, blah. We did a little conversation. She's like, "What are we gonna talk about?" I'm like, "That's a really good question, Kathy." We
We'll
know.
figure that out.
Yeah.
This is actually an AA intervention.
Yeah. We wanted to
Well,
talk
since
to
you're here, just go ahead and read the whole book to us
Yeah.
before it comes out. I mean,
We'll post
We
it.
only
Thank you,
have
promise.
17 listeners, so
yeah, that's right. It's not a big deal.
It'll help
Everybody here.
But yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
and then we can critique her as she reads. That would be really great.
yeah, I'll be like, I'm sorry, this character's voice isn't believable. I don't
Yeah,
know.
this book is terrible, man. Ugh.
Like,
Before we
Kathy,
start,
you
what are
should
you
have said
most sensitive about?
she's gonna read
But yeah, we probably should figure out what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, I was just gonna Google interview questions. It's like,
Be
tell us
like,
about your
what?
childhood.
Tell me how you write books. How about that?
No.
In what language?
Here, I've got a 1 hour question that you just start. You just like, all right. So, Mississippi.
That's it. That's the question.
That
Mississippi.
Yeah, you could even turn that into the question, just like, so Mississippi? And then like
Which is where the book is set, by the way. Hey.
yeah, exactly. So it's topical. Relates to the book. There, I got you. Boom. Interview. I will not be asking follow-up questions.
No.
I don't know what kind of person wants to listen to the answer to that question, but I don't think they have the internet.
No. I think, well, I could get my sister to answer the question, and I know it's just going to be like, the fuck you mean, Mississippi?
Yeah.
And that's why she's not the guest on the podcast.
Yeah. I would love to have.
She's very excited.
I'd love to have my sister and Kathy Connor on at the same time and just listen to them try to out Mississippi each other. Just sit back with my fucking popcorn.
Super Smash Bros. All right, well, no prompt. I can do that. I can manage that.
We all get to drink next week. Ew.
Oh,
I'm off the
drank so much
wagon.
this past week anyway. So whoa.
Yeah, whoa.
Off the wagon. All right, well, this has been season 2, episode 3.
That's too far, Patrick. That's too far.
Sorry, I'm jumping. I'm coming from the future. Season 2, episode 3 of the Workshop podcast. Next week we will have on a special guest, and yeah, same time, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have been Patrick Caleri.
I'm Frank.
I'm still Big Mama, but I'm on a diet.
And I'm still Sarah.
All right, and we will see you guys next episode.
Bye.
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 I want some nachos.